What's going on, guys? It is that time again. It's Thursday, and it's one of my favorite times. It's October, which means a couple things. One, Halloween. Two, Macroverse Alpha. Um, we've been waiting, and it's coming. It's October, and hopefully we'll see what comes this month. But no, it's been a long day. I couldn't be happier than to be right here and hanging out with you guys again. So with that being said, this is Tiny's Universe. I'm Tiny Universe. This is my home for all the Macroverse news and updates and fun and everything else that goes on in the Macroverse. And with that being said, I would love to bring Evan in as usual.
Yoink.
What's up, man?
How's it going, dude?
Excellent. Like I told you before, I'm getting a little bit congested feeling, so hopefully I don't lose my voice or anything, but
not fun. I'm sorry about that. Very cool. Well, yes, thank you for hosting as always. And I am Evan Matthews, co-founder and CEO at Macroverse. We have a lot planned for the rest of this year. And as we've been teasing for months now, it is finally about to start to be revealed and be kicked off into high gear over the next several weeks, starting, if everything stays on track, with a pretty significant piece of that puzzle coming into place next week. So let me respond to a small person here. One moment. Stop. No, stop. No. You are off screen at the moment. All right, here. Take your I don't know. Feel like it's Halloween. Take your devil's device and go. Anyway, what was I saying? So next week we'll have a lot to talk about. If we stay on schedule, we'll actually have the first reveal on Tuesday. So I'm sure you'll see that on socials, and then we'll be able to kind of break it all down and talk about it on Thursday. There is a slight chance that we'll end up having to push things to the following week, but at the moment we are very much on track. So fingers crossed, but everything is looking good. And I could not be more excited about what people are going to see. It's going to be awesome.
And, I would say the biggest thing there is, keep your eyes peeled for the socials and stuff like that. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, because that's where you're going to see it first. It's going to
definitely hit the bell, subscribe, follow, all the things.
I've been a little bit off of X as much as usual and hitting some of the other ones a little bit harder. Yeah. And the last announcement slipped past me for probably a solid day. And, it's like, man, like, that's where all the good stuff is, the juicy stuff there in Discord. So
I saw you got your orders in for Heatseeker, though. So that's
I did, which is, when you said we only had like a week left, the shop that I hang out at so much doesn't do anything new. It's all back issues. So it could be newer back issues, but I can't order a new book. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do?
I didn't realize that. So he literally doesn't have like Wednesday.
No,
it's all back issues. Interesting.
Nope. Yeah.
And yet has no idea what's in that collection, right? So it's just like a giant warehouse full of comic books. That's amazing. And now it makes me really want to come visit you and start searching.
Yeah, no, there's no like catalog or like inventory index or nothing's like scanned in. So it's fun. It's super fun.
Not to completely digress, but what's the story there? Like, how did he end up with a million comic books and no idea what they are?
I mean, it just went from small to large, like it started out as like a couple rooms with lots of boxes, and then just, got a good collection, flipped it, and it just grew and grew. Like, I mean, he did the whole shop on his own by hand, like expanded the whole thing into 9 rooms. And
that's wild. That's awesome.
Some of these, like, he just buys. I mean, like, he brought a couple more collections in today, and there's just no way. Like, even for like what I have, trying to catalog it, it's like,
that's amazing.
I mean, there's just absolutely no way to do to do that. Like, I don't know. It would be a whole team of people, and probably have to close business for a while.
So it sounds like you have a glimpse at a possible future there.
That man, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, people have come in and, like, because obviously you have like all the whatnot sellers and stuff now, and there's tons of people that are out buying collections. Like, for anybody that says that like comics are dying out or anything like that, have absolutely lost their mind. Because since I've been into kind of like buying and selling, the amount of money that's out there and that people are willing to buy like full collections, or even like, single books for, thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, it's
well, I think that the weird contradiction is that the collector's market is thriving right now.
Oh yeah.
And it's, there's still some challenges with the kind of new traditional comics coming out.
Definitely.
Not that there's not some great stuff, of course there is, but I think there's a desire for some of the classics and the older stuff. And, as we've been exploring some of this, we talked a couple of weeks ago about, I've kind of been watching auctions and things like that. And there's been a lot of action in, kind of the Silver Age, Golden Age, even stuff that you don't think about when you think about comics. Like, a lot of the kind of pre-code stuff is going crazy right now. So just a lot of really interesting action and traction going on everywhere.
Well, I'd say like the pre-code horror is like exploding again.
Yep.
And no, but I mean, he's had people come in and pretty much offer to buy the full store, and it's like, how do you like can't even like put a price on that?
Yep.
So it's pretty crazy, but no, I mean, it's been so much fun, and I definitely would say, like, there's going through social medias and talking about Macroverse and now adding physical comics to it. It's like, it's such a thriving market, and just people in general are so still energetic and passionate about it. So I don't know. It's been tough for me to hear anybody like say anything's going away or anything like that. I will say, to your point, he did grab a newer collection recently, and I say newer, but it had, a recent variant cover in it, and like the cover price was $9.99, and I was like, oh my god.
Well, the variant market is going crazy again. The collector's market is going crazy again. Like, there's a lot of echoes of the 90s without the multi-million unit sales, which is is interesting. Yeah.
So, but no, I'm excited to see one-of-one covers. I had a long conversation with one of the guys I was pulling books for today about the one-of-one release and stuff like that. And like, this is a guy that's not heard anything about NFTs or Web3 or Macroverse or anything. And I was telling him about all this, and it was funny because I told him, that it was, I actually sent him the X post and showed him, and he's like, oh my god, I love Kanani. And I was like, well, now, I told him about the one-on-one, like, just to see, like, as a comic fan, how stoked he was.
That's what we want.
Made me super happy. Just like the feedback's unbelievable.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah. So what are you talking about for anyone that doesn't know?
Well, for anybody that doesn't know, I would say um, head over to Macroverse on X and scroll through and check out all the recent announcements. But we've talked about it on here, and I would say it's a partnership with Titan Comics. Is there who all is actually involved? Because I know it's a mixed print, Macroverse, Titan Comics, but it's going to be the Gun Honey.
Yes, it's in the so they have a label called Hard Case Crime, and the premiere title for that, the premiere series is called Gun Honey, and it's a I've been describing it as like spicy noir, but it's kind of a crime noir series with sexy ladies, and and so this new series, the actual kind of main character who goes by the, I think, code name Gun Honey. This is a different character in the universe who is Heat Seeker, and so this is a Heat Seeker series. And this latest series, which is coming out over the next few weeks, has a mixed print variant cover, which is our Macroverse name for this one of X printed collectible editions of things. And so every cover is a unique variant and will be printed and polybagged. And so you don't actually know what you're going to get. It's kind of a blind bag until you get it and open it. And if you're into this kind of thing, then part of the fun of it is that there's all these different treatments to the artwork that we've created with the artist brow, and including kind of various states of undress for the main character. So it's a spicy adventure and certainly a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was just looking at some of the stuff on X. I was going through and liking and reposting the Tiny's universe, but I saw that they have some like live drawing and stuff on there from Titan.
From Brow, actually,
yeah, that looks phenomenal. I was just checking that out, like trying to not lose track and pay attention and do both. But yeah, I'd definitely say anybody watching this, go check that out because all that stuff looks phenomenal. I did post in the Discord because I think last week you said there was about maybe a week and a half or so now, like maybe how much time left before final?
Less than that now.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I mean, like,
yeah.
But I did find that's what we were talking about. I did find a local shop that ordered new books, and I got them to put an order in for me. So I'm hoping. I don't know how many they'll actually order. I told them I wanted at least like maybe 3 of them. So,
yep.
I don't know. I can't go too crazy, but.
Well, there's things coming, so it's good. That's good. Yeah, I think we don't know what the numbers will be, but these will certainly be limited edition and collectible. And I think as the first of what will be many mixed print projects with Titan, and then likely with others as well, it's I think it's going to be a good one to pick up.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled. The big thing I just don't know is like if I want to keep any in the poly bag.
Yeah. That is a hard call because you don't know what cover it is until you open it.
Yeah. Oh, that's like, it reminds me, man, he pulled out of one of these collections. It was a 3-in-1 Star Wars. I don't remember what store it was from, but it was from I think a retail store. And the 2 books you could see were probably $100 each. And it's like, he's like, do I sell it or do I split it and see what's in the middle? Because it could be $1,000 book. You never know what's in the middle. And but it's like, I was like, I don't know, you'd sell for the 2 big books on the outside and sell the mystery, like when you cut it up.
Exactly. So yes, these are the hard calls we have to make as collectors.
I like the mystery. I don't know. So what's your idea tonight? What do you think you're going with?
For this drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. This was just another one where it just started and then we'll see where it goes. But there's some magic going on here. So we'll get a little energy, which is fun for figuring out some lighting as we get into a little bit of the rendering. I guess for anyone that hasn't seen, like I've been doing these as we've had less news we could share, really very much thanks to Tiny going like, hey, I missed the live drawings. I've been kind of getting back into doing some of these live drawing streams, and then I'll put this out through our Drip House channel to anyone that donates at least 1 droplet to our Macroverse Drip House channel. 1 person will get this as an ultimate on Drip House once it's done. So it's just a fun thing for me to kind of flex the drawing muscles a little bit, which I don't get to do as much a lot of the time right now, just because of the other stuff that we're working on. And and make it something fun for the people that have been supporting us on Drip.
Yeah, no, I wish that like I knew where these things went and who got them, especially like, because I mean the big ones like the million drop, that stuff. You get to kind of like personalize those and get to meet the people and know who they are. But like, I mean, to me, it's not quite that epic. But I mean, like where you're making a comic off of it or something like that. But I mean, like it's a one of one. To me, like I said, the NFTs that I have of those live drawing events and stuff like that, those are some of my favorite collectibles.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the cool thing about Drip is like that's how big it is. I mean, it could be anywhere in the world. You have no idea.
This is true. That is it is, and I don't know who got the last couple. The one from last week actually has been delivered but not claimed. So if you haven't checked your collection recently, that could be you.
I have, and it was not near. So,
well, shucks.
No, I'm like, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it no. But no, I was curious where you're going with that. I know, like, I feel like on the last one I saw like immediate weapon.
Yes.
So I was curious because I can't really tell in the background this time. I was actually looking at the other side of the screen in the beginning. So you said it's some magic.
I mean, it's kind of she turned into an elf along the way.
I was gonna say I see elf. And that made it interesting to me. I think I just watched like maybe 45 minutes of Lord of the Rings the other night.
Mm-hmm. The new series.
So it's kind of got that on my mind anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I've still never seen any of those.
Of the movies?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
I swear I watched like the first one all the way through, but then I was watching it and I was like, man, I don't remember any of this.
Well, the show is definitely different than the movie if you're talking about that, but
no, I'm talking about the movies.
That's slightly sacrilegious for.
I know. I don't understand how I let this happen so long.
Yeah.
I had to trust me. I've had this conversation with several people now in the last
I'm sure.
So that's one of my new goals is to sit down. It's like, man, and I sat down to like watch it and I'm like, good God, these are long. No wonder I never watched it.
See, I there are some movies which could certainly benefit from some editing. in my humble opinion, the Lord of the Rings are actually not one of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I am all in on the extended version. So give me the 6 hours of.
I think that's what I was watching was the extended version, and I was like, I'm never gonna make this.
Yeah, you got a good 12 hours of delight ahead of you if you get into it.
So, yeah, it's funny because there's a couple other people in the Discord that are like me that get like, I mean, I just don't, I don't have that kind of time to dedicate on a normal like Monday through Friday, uh, especially when the kids are here and wiling out. To have them try to like be calm for a little while to watch a bit of a movie. So I mean, I might get like a solid hour at a time or so. So I have to chop everything up and um, God, like I'm so ADD. Like it's hard to remember. I'm like always going back and I'm like, what did I watch in the first part? Like I don't remember this. So it's tough.
You need the previously on Lord of the Rings.
That's why I love stuff like Supernatural because it's like every episode it recaps it. And I'm like, yes, I remember. So speaking of drip, I just went on there and secured a lot of my stuff from this week. And I see there's the new digital pools, which has some more of the super cool card looking things that are not horizontal now.
Oh, so that's actually episode 2 of the comic series.
Okay, so that flips through. So that's a super cool cover then.
Yeah, really cool. I really like what they've been doing with the design of the episodes, which is what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think those are really cool.
Yeah, I'm flipping through it now. Yeah, it doesn't look. So it definitely has a different look than like the standard Macroverse releases for sure.
Yep. I mean, they gave them essentially like comic covers.
Comic covers. Yeah, no, that's why I thought it was kind of like a card. It's like a tall, skinnier. Yeah. I guess made for mobile.
Yeah, exactly.
Super cool. Yeah, no,
I really like that.
So those are out. I guess the Vogu did a pretty awesome release.
Yeah. Jason continues to crush it on the Vogu channel.
Yeah, it keeps. I mean, I'd say week in, week out on those. I don't know if anyone can even see them. Probably not. My phone did crazy stuff, and I'm little. But I actually got a legendary this week, and so I ended up with with 3 of them, and man, just like mind blowing.
Yeah, they're very cool.
And I continue to be like mesmerized by the backgrounds, like this legendary. I don't know why. Like it gives me like almost like a hip hop variant kind of like cool. I don't know. Like it's got a super cool feel to it. I just I love what he's doing with that stuff.
Yeah. No, it's very, very cool. Could not be more pleased with that. And actually, you said hip hop. Here's a little spoiler. We've got the next season of DMC stuff dropping next week. So after a little hiatus, as we've gotten kind of the next batch of stuff ready to go, the first of the new drops will be next week. So I think what we're gonna do for the time being is essentially, Vogu's on a bi-weekly schedule. So we're going to basically alternate Vogu and DMC for different weeks for now.
That's pretty cool. So not overloading.
Yeah, exactly. So still,
I was going to say, I'm struggling to keep up with all the drops and droplets and trying to get thanks out and claim. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many.
Still weekly Macroverse drops. So no relief there.
Yep.
But
well, I was gonna say, so we've got the new Remind, episode 5.
Yeah, episode 5 of Remind is out. We're waiting on a feature update, which I know the Drip dev team is working on for another one that we've got planned. So that's just kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern at the moment. But definitely some fun stuff coming there. And then there will be a tie-in to what we're going to talk about next week, which we're also going to do on Drip, which I'm excited about. So
I'm ready for some more aerosol. What's up on that one?
Actually, some good news on aerosol. Jay Espin, who's the incredible artist and creator of aerosol, is back to work on it. So
awesome.
Very excited for what's to come there, and the bits that I've seen are just not surprised to say completely astounding and
yeah.
cool.
That's one that like I fell in love with from the first page I saw.
Yeah.
Just on the artwork and the colors, and I'm colorblind, and the colors were just popping to me. And then the story, like it, I only got to read so much, and it's just like left me hanging, like dying for more. So
yeah.
And then to see some of the stuff that was released on Drip, previously, it just is like, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, we've got big plans for all of the character collections into late this year, early next year. But the series is definitely coming back and coming back strong.
Nice. Yeah, that's one that I've been waiting on. So that's super cool. That's good news to me. Sorry, I'm looking at the drawing now. I've been trying not to pay attention because I'll get lost in it.
No, that's right. You're allowed.
What I remember you did one not too long ago. I feel like there was some kind of like smoke and sorcery to it. I can't remember. But are you going to do anything in her hand?
There will be, yes.
Very nice. I'm trying to think elf ears. Like, where do you go? It's not my realm. I think that's kind of why I didn't do the Lord of the Rings too. I think like the closest I went was like maybe like the old school 80s, like man, I can't even remember what they're called, but like Willow or something like that, like terrible movies from the 80s.
I have a definite soft spot for Willow, personally.
I mean, I love it, but I can't say it's really a great movie.
Yeah. There's some great parts of it, I think is fair.
So, yeah, no, I've got a lot of homework to do. It's funny, like there's so much stuff in like the fandom world that I missed, that like people just are like dumbfounded with how obsessed I am and like how deep involved I am, and they're like, what do you mean you haven't seen that, or you don't know what that is? And I'm like, I don't know. So I've got lots of homework on my list. Plus, I still got to draw like 50 hands or something.
Seriously? Come on. Should be further along than 50.
Oh, man. That's what happens when you give up for a little while.
Never give up. Never surrender.
But I must say, it's that hand. Oh, this is a nice looking hand.
Well, thanks.
I will say, I've probably lost a good bit of skill that will come back, but I bet you I can still draw a pretty good hand.
I bet you can.
I will say that.
That's why 100 hands.
Yep. So, but anybody that says it's like riding a bike is not telling the truth, because I've tried to draw a couple times recently, and I'm like, what happened to my hand? It doesn't do what my brain tells it to anymore.
That's funny. All right, so texture time.
That's like one of my favorite parts too. So, no big major news tonight. Yes. I was excited. To me, I still think that the that the Titan release is like major news to me. Like,
Oh, it is. It is. It's just not something you can hold in your hands yet. So I think
man, I
it's
think because I got my order in though, and it's like kind of I like he gave me a date, you know, like it got me super pumped. I was like, oh my god,
it's
that's
happening.
official.
It's happening.
So I don't know. For me, I mean, like I said, I know it's not technically the first mix print or Macroverse physical, but it is for me. So it's like it's a huge deal.
Yeah. First one kind of mainstream, in stores. So I think that's a legit factor.
Yeah. So I don't know. But like I said, man, the more people I talk to and share and show about it are absolutely fascinated by the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And that is also exciting for me because I haven't, there's not been one person that's like, well, that's stupid.
Well, that's early.
Everyone, because I kind of been waiting for that, like for like the person who's against it. Like you can't do that. You can't make them all different. And
Well, I'm glad we have yet to run into that stupid person.
I feel like there's got to be someone out there because I'm usually that person. I'm usually the one.
That's all right, so we're gonna go in reverse tonight, kind of going dark to light instead of light to dark. So that's what's happening over here.
What's the typical? Because I saw like on the first one, you just pretty much did you fill in the entire thing, or I saw you start with some lines and then
it depends. Like sometimes it's when it's light to dark, then it's like you're getting progressively like doing progressively more shades. So it's like lighter tones and then darker tones. Going dark to light is more this, which is like pretty much everything's going to get covered and then pulling out highlights based on.
Oh man, that's super cool. See, and that was like the most disappointing thing for me. Drawing was everything for me was either black and white or just line work because I just don't know my colors. And
well, you have a legitimate excuse at least.
Like when you start getting into like shades and depth and stuff like that, I'm like, oh man, I don't know what I'm looking at. And then especially like, I was going to say, shout out to Dim Sum or, Henry Sewell, who's on here. What's up, my friend? But he's doing a super cool color pencil artwork in the Discord that he drew. And you can kind of tell like where he's mixing some colors and doing some darker shade work and stuff, and I'm like, I just can't, like my son does it too, like my 6-year-old when he's drawing, like making colors from the color wheel, and I'm like, I just can't. I never learned it.
Well, is that? But I mean, I'm not colorblind.
I never learned it. I mean, like I just can't. I can't see a lot of it's the same.
Yeah. I think that's a legit reason.
It's it's like I wonder. It's funny because like I wonder like what other people see right now when you're doing this versus like what I see.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like my son thinks I see like a dog, like literally like black and white.
And that's not the case.
No, I mean he thinks colorblind is like. That's it. You don't see color.
Right.
It's hilarious. I keep trying to break it down, but
well, I mean, I'm not quite sure either. So for all the idiots out there, how is it?
There's a few different kinds of like color blindness. I guess there's like different colors you can be colorblind to. Like there's like reds and greens and browns and stuff like. I think I've pretty much like got it all. Like I've got the worst of the worst. So like for me, like yellows and oranges and those different shades, all in those like kind of the variation, um, all look the same, or like I was trying to tell someone the other day, like now, and now that I've dealt with this my whole life, like I can, for the most part, I've kind of learned what colors are to me, and I can get them right,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't actually know what they. So like like dark blues and blue and purple, like all kind of look the same, and black will even blend into that sometimes, depending on the shade. Any like greens or browns or reds like all look the same to me on a lot of like different things.
Everything I'm doing right now.
So yeah, no, so I mean like it's just hard for me to decipher the difference, and it's hilarious. I mean, even to this day, like when I was a kid, oh man, when I was a kid, like it was real bad in like elementary school when like my parents would let me dress myself. And even now, like I wear a lot of like khaki shorts and stuff because you can pretty much do whatever you want. You can wear like whatever shirt, it'll just go with it. But man, I used to wear like just the most mixed match colors, like just stuff that just doesn't go together. And people be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What? This looks great. What are you talking about?" And I had no idea, man. It's so funny. But the other thing that I remember was like, oh, I can't remember the game, but there was like a mobile game where I played, and it had these things you collect on them. And forever I was telling people they were blue, and I was like, I need more of this blue, like the blue thing, whatever. And after like it was probably a year, my now ex-wife, like at the time, she's like, "Are you talking about these?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Babe, those are pink." And I was like, oh man, like if you've ever seen like the little picture of like the two-tone dress or whatever, where they're like, "What color is this?"
Yeah.
It's kind of like that to me. I was like, I kept looking at my phone, like trying to figure it out, like it was a trick. I was like, "There's no way. Like, there's no way that's pink." But
Yeah.
everyone else said it was. I was the only one that was wrong.
For you, it was.
Yep. So that's what it is. I mean, I don't honestly. I mean, I don't know the explanation behind it, and a lot of people don't believe me until I get like one of those stupid little dot tests with the numbers, and I never see anything. There's never anything there, and people are like, "Yes, there's a 32," and I'm like, "There's nothing there." So I don't know. I don't know what it means, but yeah, it's not. I don't know. It really didn't bother me until I started drawing, and then I was like, "Well, this sucks."
Interesting. Yeah.
You like go to start coloring, and it's like, "Well, what do I do now?"
What color is this? Yeah.
Yep. So, but I will say, with that, being said, like there's definitely some like tattoo work and other black and white artists that I've seen that are like incredibly mind blowing. I mean, like even like God, to go back, like MC Escher was one of my favorites, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, God, some of the stuff that I've seen that's just black and white sketch style is just like some of my absolute favorite artwork anyway. So
Yeah.
maybe
No, I mean,
that might have something to do with it, but
yeah, Dead Town is such a good fit for you.
oh man, Dead Town, I'm telling you, and that might be like why I'm so drawn to it. It's like visually, it's perfect for me.
Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, no, I definitely wasn't like born to be a artist of that sort, bright colors, and I'm still waiting for the day to like put on a pair of those the glasses where you can actually see colors.
Hmm.
Like you can like see videos of people that put them on. They're like life changing. They like start crying. So I'm wondering. I guess it makes a big difference. I don't know.
Is it like just a particular type of lens, or how does that?
I don't know. They're like really expensive.
Yeah.
I don't honestly know. Like, I don't. I mean, because I still I've dealt with it for my whole life now, and I've never took an interest in it.
Right.
I don't know what causes it, or like if it's like something in the brain or the eye, or how to correct it. But I know that they do make glasses that you can put on, and it's supposed to correct it. And that's almost depressing though, because like I would feel like like once I know what I've missed, like now I've missed my whole life of that.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't want to see it.
It's one way to think about it.
No, that looks awesome. I can't wait. Again, like when that's blown up or when it's put on drip and I can see it in the high def, like the last one, I think I saw it first on X maybe.
Yeah.
But I blew it up and was like, oh my God, that's so sick.
It's fun. Yeah, you'll get all the crazy overlaps.
So yeah, I think like that's become in like the animation world, like my favorite, like that kind of like Spider-Verse, the more recent like Turtles and stuff, that like kind of like rough paper style has become like my absolute favorite style. And that's like what that kind of, like that's what that, I don't want to say that's what that reminds me. I think I actually, it's been, I'd say people have been doing it, but like I really saw it first from you, and then those movies started coming out recently, and I was like, man, this is amazing.
Yeah, I love that stuff too. I mean, what Spider-Verse did for animation is it really unlocked art for animation again.
Yeah, no, it blew my mind. But it was like, to me, it's like very similar kind of like patterns and stuff. The dot. I still think you take it several steps further and make it extra cool.
I do.
So I mean, I feel like they do like maybe one or two little layers, and that's that. And yeah, it's definitely like one of those things that has spoiled some other artwork for me.
I think it's a different, as far as Spider-Verse in particular, it's a slightly different aesthetic in that, I think the similarity is the dot patterns and things, which, both come from kind of classic comics. But then for me, it's like mixing all of these different colors and textures to try to create something that's, I always talk about this, but it's like, you can't really see it until you see the details of it.
Yeah.
And then the details of it become, kind of abstract even, which I am kind of into.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd say same thing. That a lot of the abstract art and the black and white, I think, is what I generally went towards. But again, I don't know. It's probably more with me that it's got that retro feel to it, and just my my love for like the older style comics. I mean,
yeah,
that's what it makes me feel like again, and that's especially to be on digital. Like it's not everybody can give you that same simulation feeling. But man, I was going to ask you a question a minute ago, and I was letting you talk. I forgot, and it's going to drive me crazy.
It's all right. It'll come back, I hope.
That's rare with me. It'll come back. It'll be hours later, and I'll be like, "Oh yes." So I'll send it on Discord or something. It must not have been real important.
Earmark that.
So no, I'm excited. I'm super excited for October. I went in the shop. He's putting up Halloween decorations. I know like several people that are getting out the Halloween decorations, and um, that was like, like for my mom and my family, like one of our probably most celebrated holidays of the year, that and Christmas.
What's
And so this month I absolutely love, and I was talking to someone earlier, and they're like, like, so like, what's your favorite part? And they're like, what are you most excited about? And I was like, Macroverse updates.
well, I appreciate that.
Oh god, that's so funny. So
what's the creepiest house in the neighborhood for you right now?
well, so I'm in an apartment right now,
Yeah.
so it's actually funny. It's funny that you asked that, because like at the shop he put up, it's like a Christmas tree, but it's all wrapped in like orange lights. He calls it a Halloween tree.
Uh-huh.
And everyone in my neighborhood already has up Christmas lights. Like they're blue and like, like, and I just think that's crazy, but it's whatever, it's cool. People are festive, but
Yeah.
my youngest calls all those Christmas lights, because it's October, and like I said, like we just love Halloween.
Yeah.
He's calling them all Halloween lights. And, I've been dying, like it's been making me laugh. But then I went into the shop today, and he actually had Halloween lights all over, and like a Christmas tree wrapped in Halloween lights. And I was like, this is phenomenal. Like,
That's
this
funny.
is a cool thing. But I've not actually seen anything too scary. I will say, like, I'll say it public. I don't care. I work at Lowe's, and we've got like some super cool decorations and stuff. There's like a 12-foot tall, like scarecrow, like death thing that they all move and stuff, man. Like, I will say, like, I sold, I don't know, 3 of those things to one of my, regular people. And I will say, like, I know his yard is going to be terrifying. Just the stuff that, like, I guess he's like, it's almost like the Griswold's Christmas, like him and his neighbor go back and forth for Halloween, like who can go bigger. And I had sold him the first 2, and he came back and he's like, man, I need the 12-footer. My neighbor got this and this and this. I was like, all right. So I need to find out where they live and go check those out, because I bet those are going to be terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. We have, there's a few houses around here that are going all out, and they've started putting up stuff as well. So there's a incredible, like, I don't know, 18-foot creepy clown.
Yeah. That's so awesome. God, and I hate clowns.
Yeah.
That's what one of the ones he got was like, it was like an upside down clown on like bowling pins, and its head spun.
That sounds similar.
I did not like it, man. It was really loud and obnoxious. And yeah, I don't know. When I lived in Savannah, I will say, before I moved here to Florida, when I lived in Savannah, Georgia, there was a house in our neighborhood. And this is when my oldest was probably 2 or 3. He was little.
Yeah.
It was one of the first years that he like walked on his own to trick or treat, And these people had like smoke machines, like they were basically letting like 1 or 2 people up at a time, because they had to go through the whole thing. They wanted you to see this experience, this whole thing. And it's probably one of the coolest. Like, they had a cemetery, they had stuff in the tree, it just full theatrical. Like, it's almost like they like hired people to work, I mean?
Yeah.
And everything they gave away was full-size candy bars. And it's just like the dream house, but like my son was too scared. He was too scared to go up to it. That's how good it was. And that, I would say, I think like in all of my years of Halloween, like that's probably like one of the most epic houses I've seen.
Yeah.
So for them, like I give them, because they do it every year. I mean, they start early.
Totally. Yeah, I think that was the case for mine as well. It was just the house that was amazing and also too scary to go to.
So I don't know. I always wondered like what was I never like went because I couldn't get him past like halfway up the sidewalk. But I think they like let you in their house actually.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I always wondered like how how far they actually go with it. It was awesome. It was super cool. But yeah, I can't that kind of stuff. Same with Christmas. Like I just can't. Man, it's a lot of work for just a little bit of time.
Very true.
Like I would want to leave it up for like Christmas. I would just want to leave it up for like an extra like 3 months or something.
Very true.
Definitely took a turn where I wasn't almost like a gives me like a storm feel.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's super cool. That man, I was looking at a McFarlane cover. I think it was like Marvel Tales or something with a storm on there that McFarlane did earlier. That was like it's super cool cover that kind of reminds me of.
I'll take that. I'm a fan.
it's uh it's getting a little overdone with him, but
With
I
Todd?
definitely huh?
With Todd?
Yeah. It's
Oh, be controversial and say more.
just the amount of like signed books and just um the amount of graded books that you'll find and just I mean everybody is a fan and it's almost I don't want to say overproduced, but there's a lot of stuff out there, so it's not as valuable as everybody thinks it is.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of big mega fans, so um, I don't know. Like I collect a lot of as much more McFarlane stuff as I can, so um, I'm not saying uh, anything bad at all. Like I'm a super fan, but um, not quite as collectible is what I think people hope for the moment, anyway.
Yeah. It'd be interesting though. I think, there's that era has still yet to be matched in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, and
So
it's like I look at it like this too, and I'm not gonna put him on like a Stan Lee level or something, but you look at these early books that are valuable that are signed by Stan Lee or some of the bigger name artists or inkers or whatever, and those high dollar books are generally Silver Age. They're older titles, and I mean a lot of the his stuff is 10 years old or maybe a little older than that when you get back to like if you go all the way back to like Coyote or something, but
yeah. Well, I mean, even early Spawn though, we forget like the 90s were what, 40 years ago now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like that to me is still not like I don't know, like a Silver Age, like a classic, like I can't put like a Spawn #1 in a X-Men #1 like category. It's just
Sure.
not, like it's a great classic title. It will be a classic, but it's not old enough yet.
Yeah. Well, it'll never be as old as Silver Age. So,
Well, so what I'm getting at, okay, so where this is how I just completely forgot to finish my point.
yeah.
So right now, yes, it's overproduced, and there's like, a ton of his signatures out there, and there's a ton of them with certifications. But how many of those are going to last another 40 years?
See, that's interesting. I mean, it's a valid point, but I suspect that the image era is only going to increase in value for the stuff
Yeah,
that's relevant.
yeah,
I mean, like you've got some of Liefeld's stuff now going to auction, which I think is going to do extremely well.
yeah,
I think like it's always going to be like the quote unquote important characters or important first appearances or splash pages and things that have a lot of impact. But I do think like we are far enough now where there is all of us who grew up with that stuff, like as much as I also love like the Silver Age and Golden Age, like my nostalgia in many ways is for the stuff that I was going to the comic store to get when I was in middle school and all that. So I think for this next kind of round of collectors, like there's a lot of nostalgia and interest in having that that Spawn page or that Spawn cover or whatever, which will be interesting to see. And at the same time, like you're never going to catch up to the formation of the Marvel universe is always going to be that. So I think
I want to say like he's huge, and I don't look at him just as Spawn or Image. I mean,
I don't know. It's all the Spider-Man run. I mean,
Amazing Spider-Man, and for me especially, like some of the sickest Hulk books.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, like like I said, I'm a super fan. I'm big on the collector side of things these days, and I get in this argument frequently. And I don't know. I'm curious to see, like a lot of people have the same kind of view as me, where it's like it's not worth as much as people think it is right now. That's not to say it won't be in another 20 to 30 years or something.
Yeah, of course.
Stuff gets put away and lost and torn up and,
Well, the big difference is that, yes, there were, millions and millions and millions of copies of, many of those books compared to, some of the Silver Age stuff where it's like, yeah, we know of, 100 of them or stuff like that. Like part of my fascination with this pre-code horror stuff is that I think a lot of people is, starting to realize like, oh, there are some of these particular comics where literally we know of 6 copies in existence.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like, it's crazy. And it's, it's because they weren't valued at the time. So now that there's interest and they're kind of being found and kind of rediscovered, you're like, oh man, these are actually incredibly hard to get a hold of. Yeah.
So what's your take on like a graded book?
I never did get, I've never gotten anything CGC'd. I certainly understand and respect the reason to do it. So, but I don't have a strong opinion about it other than it's, become the thing that, kind of drives a lot of the auction and collectibles value.
Yeah. So I mean,
I think
I get in this argument like daily. I think it's like what sets the value.
Yeah.
Almost
for sure.
Like stock market.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I just hate it. Other than like preservation, too many stuff gets put in cases and locked away, and it's almost like depressing for me. And man, like I don't have any. I don't have any graded. I don't have any that I would send off, and I've got some pretty awesome stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of like on the fence there.
Yeah.
But I do respect it for the fact of like that, having only maybe 6 copies or something. I would almost want to like slab one to preserve it up and make sure that like, it doesn't just go away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's a big part of it, I think, is, there's a lot of this stuff which is being rediscovered where there's really no good way to actually even see it. Like, you'll never hold one of those in your hands when when there's, and not even the original. It's like, there's a bunch of this stuff which you can't even find, good reprints of or anything because, they've just gone the way of disappearing into the ether.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So, but that's, I don't know. I'm excited, especially now. Like I that's another drip that I locked in today was one of the recent Spawn drip drops.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm curious to see where he goes with the Web3 side of stuff and with Drip House and where that leads.
Well, I've heard him talk about it a little bit. I think we probably have a in some ways similar thoughts on some of that stuff. Where it's like I think his broad point of view is using it for toys and comics and other stuff is it's not
Yeah.
about the speculation. It's about people are always going to collect stuff, and here's another way that people want to. So, why not?
Yeah. The toys have definitely been hitting hard lately.
Yeah.
There's been some pretty cool toy releases too. I'm not like a collector on that side, but I see them and I'm like, ooh, that looks nice. That's like, man, talk about an expensive collection. Toys, statues, man, there's too many, and it's a whole nother world.
Yeah, I definitely hit a bunch of Toys R Us's and Targets back in the.
Yeah.
I got way like what brought me back by collecting was Star Wars when like 90, I don't know, 99 maybe, like whenever they did their reissues of the Star Wars toys.
Yeah. So do you still have those?
I do.
Wow.
Got my long lightsabers and everything.
That's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
And then
How much is still sealed in the box?
all of them. Actually, not all of them, but the majority. I wasn't. What now? On the flip side, I did also collect all the original Spawn runs. So I'm not sure if I have any of those still sealed because I had a whole shelf full of them when I was.
Yeah.
It was just all display.
Man, I got a whole big bunch of that run, but I don't think any of them are sealed. Probably not one of them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like I had to read them.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean the Spawn toys. Like
the Spawn toys. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
The original run.
See, and I'm the same way. I'd have tore it open as a kid. There's no way I'm playing with it, and I'm gonna destroy it.
Yeah. Well, this was all when I was in college, so I was at that point like very much more in my collector.
Yeah, I still would have broke it. Even more so, probably in college. Come on. No self-control. I saw a life-size Hulk statue for $30,000.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome. And I begged to how do they know it's life-size?
Life-size, like
it was bigger than a human, like a regular.
Okay. So not like Mark Ruffalo sized.
It was big. It was really big, but I still begged. I think the Hulk would be bigger in my mind.
Yeah. You're like, I don't think it's worth this much because clearly it's not big enough.
Someone asked me the other day why Hulk always gets beat up on all the books, and I want to ask someone that question too. Like, I don't know. He's my favorite, and I don't know why I like him even, but he's always getting beat up on every one of his own books. I don't know if you've ever looked and noticed, but he's never winning.
Is he not ever winning? This is a conspiracy theory now, but
and then he gets stepped on a lot, and I'm like, who's bigger than the Hulk that's stepping on him?
That's funny.
Yeah. I like you went darker with it than I thought you would. Yeah. I like it.
Well, that's the whole like going dark to light. So it's like now you're pulling out highlights as opposed to pushing in shadows.
Yeah. Super cool. What kind of outfit is that? It almost reminds me of like a martial arts outfit.
Yeah, I'd say there's a little flavor of that. For sure. But where does an elf shop for this kind of an outfit? It's probably elven made in the Riverlands. Something like that.
Yeah, it definitely has like a storm vibe to it. That's pretty awesome.
She does have a little storm vibe. You're right. All right, so now we'll put a little magic in, and then it'll be pretty close to wrapping up. Let's see.
So, over the next week, what you got coming up?
Mostly just getting everything ready for what we'll talk about next week.
Yeah. So this, I guess, more wrapping up things and details and all that. I guess any like new stuff happening, whether you can talk about it or not. I'm sure you guys are always talking to people and stuff like that. But anything like big boiling.
I mean, I had a very cool conversation today, which we'll see kind of what that turns into. So to be determined, but definitely promising for something fun, which actually could have an impact on some of the stuff we've been doing in the community in a good way.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. But that was cool. And then there's a bunch of conversations going on. That
what about this? What about some apparel?
Like,
because I feel like we've been waiting on that for like
apparel. Yes,
yes,
it's true. It is something I think about a lot, actually, more than is probably obvious. Because it does feel like it's time for stuff. I kind of know what I want to do with it. It's purely a bandwidth thing.
Yeah.
So I think there we will see Macroverse apparel, but it's really just a bandwidth thing of getting it done and getting it out.
Yeah, that'd be something that I'm not like you see people make these apparel lines, especially in Web3, and they go hard. They'll have like full stores, and I guess if you set up with the right distribution and stuff, you don't even have to take any. It can be super easy, but I just want like a shirt and a hat and tank top, like an option, a couple options.
Exactly.
I think like still to this day, one of my favorite shirts that I own is the Dino Babies tie-dye.
Yeah,
that was like one of the coolest things that I purchased in the Web3 market. I actually bought that with like my NFT was earning dino eggs, and I bought it with like basically like coins.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
That's super cool.
I'm surprised it's lasted this long. Honestly, super good quality too. I'll give them that. Same for the Nuclear Nerds, man. Their hoodies and stuff, they're just phenomenal. The quality.
Now you're just merch shaming me, but
no, I'm like
I'm just kidding.
I've got some even like the what is it? It's one of the X-Men shirts I think that I wear. Maybe the original. I think there's like a Frank Miller shirt that I have. I know I've got the Scotty Young. One of them. It's got a real weird collar on it, and it's from like a mainstream store, and it's just not great quality. And it's like that's kind of more what I expect from a smaller project kind of release. And I just was really impressed. And I feel like if I have a second to say it, and anyone else can hear it, then I might as well give them a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think everything Matt has done has been super high quality.
Yeah, I actually was cataloging all my books and stuff recently, and that's what. Obviously, I can't just like scan his in, but I've got. I don't know how many he's actually released now, but I think the first 5 or 6. And they just, I pulled them out again and had them all lined up. And I was just like, God, these look incredible.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it looks cool. Almost look like a hat. But it's just the back. I think it's just the back.
What do you mean, a hat?
It almost looks like one.
On for the drawing, or are you talking about for Dino Babies?
Yeah, no, on the drawing.
It looks like a hat.
Almost.
Not intentional to look like a hat, but I'll take it. Sure.
But then again, I can't see colors very well. So
yeah, that's all right.
It could be all sorts of shading and stuff that I don't even know exists.
It's true. It's all right. Let's see.
But that's also why I like I said, the higher def version when I can get it on, like the one I saw on X, and I can make it bigger. It's just like what I can actually see then. I'm like, oh my God, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But it's like, too, there's so much in the details that people can't see right now, even on a bigger screen than what I'm working with. Like, it's definitely not giving it, the justice it deserves.
That's right. But yes, I will. I will post it again, and then like we said, anyone who contributes at least one droplet to the Macroverse Strip House channel will be in a raffle to receive this via Drip House.
The cool thing about that is, what else do you get for a donation? Don't you get like a rare, or is that like a certain amount?
It's a certain amount. So I think it's I think the way we have our perks right now is it's 1,000 droplets for a rare,
Okay.
10,000 for legendary, and then some other stuff for fun.
I mean, still 1,000 droplets is what? Is that even $1? Is that $1?
It's $1. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I agree.
So, yeah. And some of them are just so freaking cool. I mean, I'm telling and I'm that guy. If I get all three, if I get up to a legend, I still have to secure them all. I can't just secure the legendary.
Oh yeah, no, you got to catch them all.
Oh. I don't even know where you're working anymore.
Oh, I'm on her hand at the moment.
I was looking for it. I'm like, man, I can't even tell what I'm looking to see.
On the hand at the moment.
So, let's see. 1 week from now, may or may not have an announcement.
Very likely we'll have an announcement. It's very, very, very. There would have to be a significant reason why it got delayed at this point.
Well, I will say there's been some crazy stuff happening lately. So
this is true.
Yeah, no, that's another thing, man. With all the hurricane and stuff, I've got family in North Carolina, so I've been watching all that stuff, and it's just been absolutely heartbreaking and mind blowing, and it is crazy to see.
It is.
So, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those times where it's like, man, don't say that. It's like, don't say that. Anything could happen.
Anything could always happen.
But no, I'm super excited. How they kind of gave me a date for those books to come. Is that like something that's official? I mean,
yeah, for sure. So that is, where we are on our end of that is doing final outputs right now that will then go to the printer. And then the printer will do their magic, and then it goes from there to Diamond, which is the distributor, and then it goes into comic stores. So those dates are relatively immovable at this point. They're pretty
yeah, cool. Very cool. Yeah, because it's not far. It's like a month away. I mean, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah,
like that to me is, man, I don't know. Like, again, like I feel like we've kind of been waiting for different things to happen, and maybe it's not what people had in mind, but for me it's even better.
It's definitely even better.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yep. So towards what all, I know you can't say too much, but I mean, like, going towards the end of the year, what are your expectations?
World domination,
It's very nice. That's the
basically. Yeah.
best answer possible.
Yeah, I mean, I really am excited to be able to share and talk about what's coming up next because it's gonna illuminate a lot of the stuff we've been working on. It won't
Yeah.
give 100% of the answers, but it'll certainly point in a direction, and that is quite exciting to me.
Well, and since it is, uh, supposed to be Macroverse based, sometimes we have these super fun nights and super fun discussions about random stuff. But I have been talking to a lot of people about uh, the physical comic coming out.
Yeah.
And obviously, the first question is who's Macroverse or what is Macroverse,
Yep.
and what is the best place to point somebody to say, go here to learn about Macroverse, other than me, because I'm obviously going to
Yeah.
tell. But a lot of times I just give them the website or something, but I didn't know if there's like somewhere where they can go that has. I know Discord has a ton of information.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just curious if there's like, what's the best place to say, go
Yeah.
here.
There's not a great answer for that at the moment because of kind of some things we're shifting. So the website will be the right answer for that over the next couple of months as well. So like we're actually part of what we're working on is a way of answering that exact question in a more cohesive way that fits with what we're about to learn about. So I think that is still the best place, and we haven't done much outside of that just in preparation for that.
Yeah, and I kind of assumed, and that's one of the things I kind of say is like, there's so much change coming and so much happening. Even if there was a direct place to say, this is what Macroverse is, it's probably outdated, and it's not necessarily. I don't want to say what Macroverse is, but it's probably got a little bit different view on things now.
Yeah, the mission hasn't changed. Some of the way we're going about it is a bit different, and not even really different as much as just I think a clearer focus for how to get from point A to point B.
Yeah,
and I think probably the real thing that's potentially actually different is just the way that we do that being much more oriented towards the kind of broad general consumer application of what we've been building.
Yeah. Which, I mean, obviously, I think is the by far the smartest way to go. I mean,
yeah.
I'll never stop loving Web3, but it's definitely like tough times right now for sure in that area.
Yeah, we've talked about it on previous episodes. I just think I really feel that we and just about everyone that claims to want to actually draw in real users and real consumers just got it backwards. And we're not going to be doing it backwards anymore. So that's the real bottom line. And at the end of the day, I actually think it's better for everyone, like significantly better for everyone.
Well, I think it even brings better use cases for the technology that's out there.
It does, no question. Yeah, no question about it.
Like it's all around smarter for everything.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I'm it's man, time's flying. It's winding down quick.
Yeah, it is. I am astounded by where we are in the year at this point.
That's why I say by the end of the year, I saw something the other day. What did it say? It was this funny meme, and it said something like, "Now's the time win the year. It's like 3 months out. What's the year gonna do in the last 3 months to give me that plot twist that I didn't expect or something? And I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad. Like I don't know if I need a plot twist at this point at the end of the year. Like not unless it's a phenomenally good one that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but it made me think like, man, as fast as this has gone, like just 3 months, it's gonna go by like nothing.
Yeah, it really is. It's like I kind of feel like this every year. It's like, we've got so much done and still so much to do, and it's going to be 2025 before we know it.
But again, like I feel like this year there's a lot more to show for your hard work.
There certainly will be.
Yeah. So,
all right, she's done.
Look at that.
Not bad for a little over an hour.
Signed. I want to say signed, sealed, and delivered, but not quite yet.
Signed. We'll get sealed and delivered for this next Macroverse drop. So that'll be Sunday. So you got between now and Sunday to get in at least one droplet to the Macroverse channel, and
that's what, like a penny.
Yours. No, that's a tenth of a penny. 10 droplets. 10 droplets is a penny.
Man, yeah. So it's what? God, man, that's nothing. You could own this piece of magic for almost nothing.
And I don't know if you can see it, but here's here's some of the detail. So yeah, I love this stuff.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I mean, even though when you zoom it in, I honestly couldn't even see like her eye from back here. That's why I kept saying Storm too. It almost looks like she has white eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit. So there we go. All right.
I don't know if you know what book I'm talking about. I think I own it. I'll have to find it and put it on Discord so you can see what I'm talking about.
What's that?
It's like Marvel Tales, one of the McFarlane Marvel Tales, and it's got Storm on the cover. Maybe Spider-Man. I don't know. It's like one of my, I don't want to say one of my favorite covers, but like recently that I've experienced again. Like I love that book. And that's kind of what it reminds me of. It's like she's floating above everybody. Like, I don't know. Kind of gives me that feel.
I'll take it. She could be floating above everyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Looking down on them like, I will destroy you.
Exactly. And that's, this is part of the fun. You can make her whoever you want her to be. So.
Although if she's an elf, she's probably not very big.
It depends on what kind of elf we're talking about, and if she could be an elf, she could be a half elf. It's all kinds of options. That if you become the owner of her, you will have the choice to decide who she is. So I gave her the name of Lumina.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. So there we go. So I think that's kind of it for tonight. I will get this posted so people can see the details, and then we'll give it out on Sunday. So again, one droplet minimum on Drip House. Of course, we'll take more if you'd like to contribute more.
Well, again, I'm just going to throw it out there. 1,000 gets you a rare?
1,000 also gets you, the next drop rare, and 10,000 for legendary. Also, definitely pay attention to the limited editions for Vogu this week, because there are some incredibly cool ones coming once again. So new Vogu stuff to be revealed. There's a new Ultimate. There's a new limited edition legendary. There'll be DMC next week, so definitely looking forward to that. We've got new complete sets of art from a couple of amazing collaborators in at this point.
Question for DMC.
Yeah.
Do droplets thanks count now for this drop, or will it start after the drop?
It'll be from the last leaderboard, which has now been a couple of months ago, through the release of this upcoming one. So whatever you locked in from the previous leaderboard up until next week will be counted as this next
All right. So get your droplets in there too, basically.
Definitely get your droplets in there too. Yes, lots of droplets to be delivered.
No, I actually have some extra ones. That's why I'm asking.
And the new experience point system on Drip is very cool. So
I leveled up. I just leveled up.
And I don't know if you paid attention to what you get for that XP, but every month you get a new badge, and whatever your level is becomes a multiplier for free droplets. So
yeah, no, they're definitely like making it super fun.
Cool. Yeah, it's very, very fun.
That was the first. Yeah, I was like, "What do you?" I leveled up. Look at this.
So, Tiny, where can people find you if they want to say hi or
find me
about why they should?
I'll start this time with X because I don't generally do that, and I need to get back on there more. But at Secret Agent Tiny, Discord.
Might have been bad. Oh, I didn't hear what you said. If anybody else did.
Well, you kind of froze, so I don't know if you froze or I got lost. But I'll say it on X, at Secret Agent Tiny. I'm Tiny Universe almost everywhere else. Except work, they call me by my real name. That's really it. What about you?
So yeah, definitely Ebonverse for me personally, just about everywhere. Macroverse on Twitter/X, Macroverse HQ on just about every other social. We are going to be doing more on Instagram in particular in relationship to what's coming. So definitely pay attention to that. But of course, we'll still be on Twitter and X as well. And then Discord is certainly the place where you can connect with me and Tiny and other wonderful members of the community. If you just pop in and say hi, you can @tag us if you want to, and we'll see that relatively quickly and get back to you as well. If you are interested in being early to what we've got cooking, then definitely pay attention to the socials. Definitely come into the Discord. We will be doing some special things for the existing Discord community. And for those that have been with us for a while, don't worry, we've got some special things planned for you for sure. So, I'm looking at you because you're here, but that covers a good number of people who have been on the ride for a while with us. So we want to appreciate that, and we'll continue to find ways to say thank you for that support. So come into the Discord, find us, say hi, and pay attention because
how about the first way to say thank you is not blind bagging.
Well, I think there are some legal rules around that.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. I forgot. Yeah. I was like, why would they do this to me? Like now I have to open them all. But
yeah, it's not just because it makes it more fun and collectible. There's some spicy bits in.
I did forget about that. Yeah, that makes more sense. I'll let it slide. All right,
let it slide. All right, my friend. Well, have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching live, if you're watching later, thank you for watching later. Make sure you mash that like and subscribe button wherever you're watching. And we'll be back same bat time, same bat channel with more to talk about next week.